In this lesson, we're going to be adding some platforms over here towards the end of our level, and one of them is going to be moving up and down. That'll be our elevator platform. So let's go ahead and get started working on that. I'm going to go into my standard assets, go into 2D, go into my prefabs, and let's go ahead and get one of the smaller ones, this one here, the platform 04, and I'm going to put it just like this right here. Okay. And I'm going to do one more thing to it. I'm going to open up the children's by clicking on the little arrow over here. And I'm going to go to the thing that says collider, because this is actually what has our collider on it. And I'm going to set up something here so that we can actually jump through the bottom of it. Because you can do that in a lot of platformers. You can just jump through the bottom of platforms. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and add a component onto this collider object. So add component. And as you see, I've searched for it before, but if you don't have that up, you can search for it. Just type in PL, and then platform effector 2D comes up. You can also find it by going into the physics 2D, and then you can find the platform effector here. So anyway, I'm going to add that. And you can see this warning comes up. It says we need to actually enable one of our colliders to be used by effector. So let's do that. So this has a box collider 2D, so we can use that, and here's the toggle for use by effector. I'm going to toggle that on. Now the warning goes away because this is an effector that needs a some sort of collider in order to be used. So there we go. So now this will allow us to jump through the bottom of this platform. I'm going to go ahead and apply that to the prefab. So if I press apply, that means that if I drag out another one of these, then and I open it up, I go to the collider part of it, you see my platform effector is on this one as well. So when I apply something to the prefab, it gets applied to all the other instances of that prefab that I create in Unity. Okay? So that's very cool. And actually, I don't want to get rid of that. I want to leave it in there. So I'm going to undo that, because this is what I'm going to use to create the elevator. So I'm going to select that. Select my movement tool, move it around a little bit. Okay, because now what I'm going to do is I am going to add an animation to this. Okay, so it's going to get a little bit more tricky here. I'm going to need to go up to Window, and then go open up the Animation window. Okay, cool. Now while I have this platform I want to have the Create an Animation on selected, I'm going to say Create right here. Okay. And I don't want to create this new animation in the prefabs folder. Let's put it over just in assets. And okay, I'm going to call this animation just up and down. Okay, and then save it. And a couple of things have happened here, and we will get into those in a second. But firstly, you can see this animation window has a timeline here. And we're going to use this timeline to basically say when we want our, in this case, platform to be in one position, and we want to be in another one, and just do our animating right here in Unity. And you can see that there's a lot of red going on. These are all in red. This is a red line. It's because we're in record mode right now. So if I won't go ahead, I just move this a tiny bit. You can see that these little diamonds come up, and they represent a keyframe. So a keyframe is just, we're recording this position, so that's what is being saved in the keyframe. So now if I go to, say, 1 second over here, then I can go ahead and move this up to maybe like right here. And now if I just click and drag up here around these numbers, I can see, okay, so I have now keyframed those two positions, and it interpolates between those two. So that's very cool. So we have that taken care of now. But we need to go back to the beginning. So one way I can do that, I can pan in here. So if I hold down Shift and Alt, I can just pan this direction. So I'm just clicking, holding in Shift and Alt, and I want this to go back at 2 seconds. So I'm going to click over here on 2 seconds, or 120 frames, because there's currently 60 frames per second here. And actually what I need to do before I do that, I need to copy this keyframe. So I'm going to click on the little diamond, and I'm going to do Control C, and now I'm going to Shift Alt and then click and drag over to 2 seconds. And I'm going to paste this here. Okay. So now it will go up and down. And if I want to preview this, I can just play it. So it'll look like that. Pretty cool, right? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and close. Well, actually, maybe that's a little too fast. Maybe we don't want our elevator to be going that quickly. So maybe we want to change this a little bit. Let's work on that. I'm going to adjust the spacing of the timeline just by clicking down here and moving this part of the little go side to side thing. So I'm just going to drag that out so we can see more of this. Okay. And I'm going to stop that from playing. Okay. By pressing play again. Now what I'm going to do, okay, maybe I want this to be, take twice as long. One thing I can do is I could just move these keyframes in here. I can move this one to 2 seconds and this one to 4 seconds. Go down to 4 seconds. Do it like that. I'm going to show you a different way to do it. I mean, moving them probably would be slightly better, but it's not a huge deal changing it this other way that I'm going to show you now. So I want it to be slower, but I'm going to change it somewhere else. So I'm going to close out of this, click the little X there on that window. And the reason why I'm showing you it somewhere else is so I can show you this other thing that we've made when we create that clip. Now, over on our platform, a component has been added. It's the animator component. And this animator component has the animation we made in it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's go over to the assets. Here's the things we made. Okay, so this is our animator. And if we click on it, double click on it, this is really like sort of our, this is our animator. And it's going to have all the animations we want and all the transitions we want between our animations. That's what it is. So if I just double click on it, then it'll take me into the animator view, and that's right here. So that's pretty cool. We'll get more into this in a second, but that's what's been assigned to the controller here. So that's the animator that's controlling this animator, essentially, if you can think of that. Okay, cool. Now let's get back into this. So basically, this is the animation we made, right? And we can click on it. We're going to get more into depth into all of this stuff here later, but for now, I'm just going to go and show you this one thing. So this is where our animations are being played and transitioned between. If I select the up and down animation, one thing we're going to change right now is the speed. So 1 is 100% speed. That's at the normal speed. I'm going to change it to be 0.5, and so it should be half speed. Okay, so that's what we've made, and we've adjusted one of the animations, and now if I go into the scene, I can zoom out a little bit. Well, we're going to just go ahead and play it. Let's just do that. So I'm going to play. Let's go over there. And you can see now, it's going half the speed that we saw from earlier, so that's pretty cool. If I ride it, I can ride it. So cool. We now have our elevator. Cool, and I'll see you in the next lesson.